In this lesson, we are going to learn how to create a good composition for your contour line project. So as we are going through the artistic thinking process, where we are getting inspired and then we're investigating, we're in the investigation, or sometimes it's called development phase. Or we just finished that. Now we are starting the creation phase. So the goal here is to create a composition, that magic word right up there, that is balanced, has variety, and movement. So what is a composition? Composition really just has to do with the layout, the way that we arrange things or objects, shapes, and spaces on a page. So our composition, when I talk about our composition, it's really our layout. It's not what our artwork is about. So this artwork is going to have hands in it. It's going to have drawings of, for me, it's a dollar horse. It's not what it's made out of, that it's a graphite drawing or a pen and ink drawing. Composition just has to do with how is the artwork laid out. So this is one of those skills that has to do more with the principles of design, which is why over there you can see I have some words that are from our vocabulary: balanced, variety, movement. So if you need a refresher with those, go back and look at that. But what you need to do to get ready for today is a piece of sketchbook paper. So one thing you might want to look at, because this is going to be a final project, something that happens often when we work in a sketchbook, is that you will get lines that get indented from the page above this. So if I was writing really hard in pen and I made some lines that pressed in through that paper and onto the next one, I would not want to use that paper. So I'm always looking to have good craftsmanship. So I noticed right here there is a line. I'm sure you can't see it, but it is a pressed and indented line from the last page. So I'm not going to use that one. In fact, I actually kind of recommend that if you're working through your sketchbook in this class, that you go to the last couple pages and you always do your artworks back there, your final projects. They tend to stay a little bit more protected. Now, it doesn't matter how you look at this piece of paper, whether it's side to side or up and down. That's up to you. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a series of drawings based on your idea. So if we review for this project, I said I was going to make an artwork that was about my Swedish heritage, and I was going to do that by making drawings of my hand holding this dollar horse. So here I go. I'm going to just most naturally, hold it however I want to start my first drawing. And because this is a contour line drawing, I am going to draw really lightly until I know I've got it right. And instead of going over all the lines with a thick, bold pencil line, at the very, very end, I'm going to trace over it with pen. But that's not yet. We have to figure out how the layout is going to go. So I'm going to go ahead and start. Now, when I do this first drawing, here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want to put that drawing right in the middle of the paper. This paper that I'm working on now is going to be my final project. So because I want balance and I want to have variety and movement, I'm actually going to start off to the side here, and I'm going to be touching one of the edges. So it might be a little bit difficult for you to see my drawing because I'm doing it in pencil, and you should do yours in pencil also. But you want to be able to make erasures when you need it. So here's my first drawing of my hand. I'm using that kind of technique from blind contour and continuous line contour, but you might notice I just skipped around. So I started drawing this line right over here, and that's fine. A contour line drawing does not have to be continuous. Now, what size drawing should I make? Well, I would recommend about life size. If it's a little smaller, that's fine. but I'm working out right now the proportion before I get too much detail going in here. So I am going to keep working on this, and in a minute I'll be back with a drawing and tell you what I will do next. All right, so I'm back. And what I have here is a drawing of my hand holding that Dalla horse. Now I have chosen not to include a lot of that information about the paint right now, but I think I am going to later. What I did is I started my drawing by touching an edge. I didn't start right in the middle. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to now turn my paper. This should seem somewhat familiar. And I am going to hold my Dalla horse in a different position, or I'm going to just draw my Dalla horse. So this next drawing that I do, I am going to think about another space. I'm going to try to fill the whole space here. And one thing I'm going to do as far as variety goes is I'm going to change my viewpoint, and I'm going to change the size. So I'm going to draw this horse more from an upper angle, and I'm going to try to draw it just a little bit larger. Now the whole time that I'm doing this, I'm using a really light line, and I am checking in on proportions. So is what I've drawn proportional to a line that's next to it, or a shape that's next to it? Is it accurate? So I'm going to pause this video, I'm going to finish this drawing, and I will come back and start another drawing. All right, I'm finished with my second drawing. Notice this is just of my object. So I'm not including my hand drawing in this one. So I can choose to have just my hand, I can choose to have my object, I can have my hand and the object, but I do need some of each of those drawings. I need hands, I need objects. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn my page, and I'm going to start yet another drawing. Now this time, this drawing right here was floating in space. This one started off of the edge. I am going to make this drawing over here start on the edge, but it's going to be my hand. It's going to be me holding this Dalla horse, but gonna kind of plan out in general that it is going to overlap, or in this case underlap, an existing drawing. So when I start to incorporate overlapping, this is just like a rough sketch about where it's going to go. When I start to incorporate items that overlap, I am now starting to create movement, which is one of the things that I'm asking you as you consider your layout. Make sure there's movement. So I'm going to go ahead and start drawing this. And again, I kind of made that plan already that is going to overlap, or in this case, underlap that drawing. Remember, if you have not already been doing this, it is really helpful for you to close one eye while you are drawing. So if that were to go on top of that drawing, but I decide it's going to go under, then I'm not going to draw that section. So I'm going to pause again, and I'll come back when my third drawing is done. All right, I'm back. So there's my third drawing. I have a variety here because I have a variety of different drawings. I also have a variety of sizes. So if you look at the size of this hand compared to that hand, they're a little bit different. I've also created variety in the angles that I am working with. And I have started to create movement because I'm overlapping. What overlapping does for a composition is it leads the eye through the composition. But I don't have balance yet. So if I look at this and I am trying to see, does it feel like there's equal weight, visual weight on both sides or on all the areas, I'd have to say no. It is more crowded over here than it is over here. So my job now is to continue to add more drawings to number one, fill up space, and number two, to create balance, more balance and more movement. So the next drawing that I add, I don't want to make this a mirror image. We're going to go for asymmetrical balance. So whatever I put over here, I don't necessarily have to put over here, or don't want to. I want to create that appearance of balance without using a mirror image because I have variety. So this is where I'm at. I'm going to start to add and continue to add more drawings, and I'll keep you updated. One last note. You should be drawing very lightly, very, very lightly, so that you can make erasure marks. So initially I laid that hand out over here just really quickly. That was wrong. I had to fix it. So as I make those changes, I am able to erase them. I'm able to erase them because the lead is not too dark, and I'm able to erase them because I've not dented the paper. So this shows, I would say, about 30 to 40 minutes of drawing, and I'm starting to build that composition. So you're ready today to begin. Get that object, that's that self-portrait, hold it in your hand, choose a spot that's not right in the center, and begin drawing it. Be on the watch to always have good proportion. Draw lightly. There is so much to remember, but I know you can do it.